Howdy, my name is Dewayne Hendricks, and currently I'm tagged under a company called Tetherless Access. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about is the internet. Okay, because you remember that great phrase from The Princess Bride, where you keep saying the internet, but I don't think that word means what you think it does. Okay, because I run into this all the time from my experience. I used the DARPA net back in the early 70s. So I sort of been there in the background with this thing as it grew. And so the internet that we have today is not what it was supposed to be in the beginning, and I want to talk about that, okay? Because like net neutrality, all the discussion about that of late has been sort of a distraction to me and has nothing to do with what I think the internet is. So I'm going to talk about what I think the internet is, okay? And try to convince you that maybe you should start thinking about the internet in the way that I do, all right? So, okay, when the internet went commercial, I was on, with dial-up, and then I bought a lease line, 56 kilobit, which cost me a lot of money. But I had my own servers on, and I got my own domain name. I got warpspeed.com, okay? And it's at the around 2000, the internet boom. I got offered $1 million for warpspeed.com from somebody in the Star Trek community who will remain nameless. Okay, so that's how things sort of rolled. But let me get back to reality. Okay, so I've been running my own servers and having native, routable addresses and doing my own email and web and everything. And I do it to keep my technical skills up to speed, okay? I feel you always need to dabble and do that. I don't let other people do the internet for me, okay? So I think that's important because peer-to-peer or end-to-end has always been important to me. And around 2000, I got involved in this darknet thing, or the dark web, which is this whole peer-to-peer community that was involving sharing and stuff. It's like all for one and one for all. Okay, so there was a lot of illegal sharing going on, but there was something else going on in terms of the community, in that your standing in the community was based on deeds and not words. Okay, so the communities, they were consider them gated communities. So for instance, one that I worked hard to get invited into was sort of nominally based in the UK, but they curated everything that aired on UK television and radio from about the mid-50s up to the present. So if you thought of a show that aired on the BBC, on say BBC One back in 1962, you could go and get it, because it was there, it was curated, and the thing was that there was no central storage. It was basically everybody was contributing bandwidth and their own storage to house these episodes and stuff. And when a new show aired on radio or television, it would be up in the system within an hour, okay? So it was all for one and one for all. So it was a remarkable community, and the rules were very strict. Okay, and if you broke the rules, you were expunged from the community forever. Okay, so nobody would do that, because to be cut off from access to this resource was just unthinkable. Okay, so there are other communities like that out there in the dark web that they share stuff because they went to the BBC and said, "Look, there's all this stuff that you don't make available to the public, and why it should be, and we're doing that, So, but look, here's the thing. Tools got developed to make this possible, okay? And these tools aren't available in outside this community, okay? So what I want to say is that the internet is really, there's parts, the thing that makes it really interesting is that you can have a lot of different versions of the internet around, and you'll never see them, because you don't have access, okay? And that's the great thing about the internet, in that we can set up gated communities, or we can set up access any way we want, okay? We can form communities like that, okay, and take them away, all right? But what I found, and like I'm on one right now called The Geeks, and there's everything on there like Tesla's papers that have been put in a digital form, documentaries, you know, anything that dealing with anything geeks would be interested in, okay? And they don't invite anybody into the community anymore because they sort of reached Dunbar's number in size. And
it's a number where everybody in the organization knows everybody else.
Yeah.
150, yes. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So it's sort of self-regulating that way. All right, so let me focus down. How much more time do I have?
Only because it's getting noisy, not very much.
Okay. So look. To have the real internet, you need to have a routable address. You can't do real peer-to-peer without a routable address. Okay, you can't get routable addresses from access provider like Comcast unless you pay for it. I have Comcast Business Class where I live in Detroit. I pay $5 a month for an routable IP address. Okay, to me it's worth it. It's mandatory. Most of you people that are listening to me just have dynamic addresses, and that means you can't participate in the internet that I know and love. Okay. So if you want to fight for something, fight for getting routable addresses. Now, that's not likely to happen with V4, but in the new V6 world that's coming, make it real. Get real routable addresses and participate in what should be the real internet.
Thank you.